Welcome to TechConnect. In this episode, we're talking about giving machines eyes. We're going to explore how visual data and AI is helping to transform field inspections in industries such as automotive, manufacturing, and heavy machinery. I'm very excited today to have a special guest, Walter Knapp from Inspectron, joining us. Walter and I are going to help unpack this fascinating topic for everyone today. Welcome to TechConnect, Walter. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you as well. This is such a fascinating topic. Let's start out by learning just a little bit about yourself and about Inspectron and what Inspectron's been up to in this space.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, my name is Walter Knapp. I've been in the tool business for a little over 10 years now, and most recently with Inspectron. And here at Inspectron, we are a small company you've probably never heard of, but you might have used our products out in the field before. So, we are a company that designs, engineers, manufactures video scope for automotive, industrial maintenance, airline mechanics for the better part of the last 15 years. But over the last few years, we've uncovered a need to help digitize all that inspection data. And we've launched this line of tools that will help frame what we're going to discuss today.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So how let's go into like that visual data, and this is really fascinating because you're working on technology that helps really apply this to real world scenarios for field inspection and in different industries. How really is visual data kind of transforming and changing the way that technicians diagnose issues and how they also document what they're working on?
So 100%. And you hear it all the time, data is king. Data, data, data. It drives decisions. It helps train algorithms. It helps give, more knowledge, right, to everyone from a key decision maker to a technician out in the field who's out there doing the actual work, getting a job done. And, inspection equipment, those are the catalysts to help feed visual data, not just lines of codes, but actual what something looks like and what's something that needs to be repaired, something that's actually broken down. How does it actually look like so that the repair can or the problem can be diagnosed and then the proper repair can be completed?
Oh, that's cool. Let's maybe talk about some like examples. And the other day I was taking my car in for repair and it was pretty cool because now I'm getting text messages about how the technician's working under the hood and what the issues are. Pictures, right? They're taking photos and sharing it with me while I'm over at the coffee shop waiting on the work to be done. And
Yep.
then questions about, this is kind of what we need to do. Do you accept? Yes, no. So it seems like some of the, at least in automotive in the car repair business, they're adopting some of these technologies. And to me, I felt, oh, this is cool because I can see what's going on. And it's no longer such a, I don't know, a crystal ball of what's going on with my car. I can actually see into that a little bit. So I mean, we're seeing this a little bit in car repair. Can you talk about some examples for our watchers here about how your tools are helping to transform inspections?
Sure, 1,000%. So, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and especially to the untrained eye. So you've got an issue, like you said, an automotive issue. Your car needs to be repaired. You think there's a problem with it.
Hmm.
You take it to the repair shop. They're getting work. They're starting to work on it, and like I said, you're grabbing a coffee. But how do you know? How can they prove to you that this repair really justifies the $1,000 to $2,000 they're going to be charging you, right? If they just tell it to you, you might not know what that means. Like I think of a Seinfeld episode where George says, "Hey, I got to get my Johnson rod repaired." Like no one has any idea what that actually is, but a picture can help prove that to you. So automotive is a great example where they're taking inspection equipment and they're digitizing those photos by simply clicking, hey, capture this photo, and then it can be transmitted to a piece of software that can then, come in the form of a text message to the customer or to wherever it needs to go in this shape or form. It would be the customer to give you approval on a repair.
Yeah, yeah, it's fascinating. I think as the end user, I'm probably getting the simplest version of that. But for that technician to understand what he or she needs to do in different scenarios, right, to fix a car because of all the different components, the different manufacturers, different OEMs, all the different suppliers, and that I think there's so much data there that that they need access to in real time to be able to do their jobs effectively. And that's probably where a lot of this, the changes we've seen in visual data and AI can really help out.
Yeah, I mean, that example is the picture going to the customer, going to you to make that decision. Yes, repair my vehicle. There's a slew of other reasons that visual data can be important to an organization. Yes, it's important to the dealer because it's helped justifying a repair to the customer. It's also important to the car manufacturer if there's some sort of warranty issues to show, hey, either we don't or we do have an issue with XYZ, component of their vehicle.
Can you share some examples where the tools really made a difference in sort of preventing downtime, speeding up jobs, and closing skill gaps that exist out there?
Yeah, I mean, you transmitting information as quickly as possible is paramount. So a good example, staying in the automotive sector, is, our tools are deployed at a major OEM at every single location, dealership for this major OEM in the US. And whenever they have a troubleshooting a interior component of their vehicle, they typically will jump on a call. They'll call the technical hotline, and the mechanic will say, "Hey, this is Walter from Detroit, Michigan, and I've got an issue here. Can you help me fix it?" And then they walk them through the issues. Well, now with how technology is changing, they can put on an augmented reality headset and send that data with the camera right there on their head back to wherever the key decision maker is.
Mhm.
Well, that's step one for them. Step two is now I need to go look inside of something and bring the inspection that is being done inside the engine and show the remote subject matter expert, hey, what's going on here? Can you help guide me through this repair faster? Can you help do this remote diagnosis faster? So that's helping, number one, the manufacturer get information in real time back to them. That's helping the mechanic get their job done faster to get the vehicle back on the road faster and make a end customer more satisfied as well. So it's hitting all these different layers of the ecosystem to be able to jump on a video call like we're on right now and just show the inside of an engine to someone who is the remote subject matter expert that's going to help guide a repair to a technician a lot faster.
Yeah, yeah, no, that all makes sense, and I can think of all of this too in other industries like avionics, aviation, right? When you're working on engine repair and or out in the field, on wind turbines and other areas where you really need an answer. Safety is paramount. The right data, the right next step is really critical, and we're at an age where there's technology that can really help make sure that that's achievable, and that there's efficiencies and learnings that then go on from there. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
aircraft hangars, they're enormous, right? Like the person working on an actual aircraft can be 5, 6 football fields away from the person in the office, even though they're on the same facility,
Mhm.
they're half a mile to a mile apart, right? Just to work on this thing and transmit that information faster. It would take them 20 minutes just to walk to where the aircraft is to help with that repair. Why not jump on a video call and share your screen and get that
Yeah,
repair done a lot faster?
yeah. How is, so AI is everywhere, right? It's being integrated into applications, being used across the board. How do you see that? How's AI playing into maybe training the visual data models that your customers are using? What's your thinking about AI?
I mean, AI is everywhere. Like you said, you walk into any sort of trade show, convention center, in this space, in this inspection space, and AI this, AI that, rightfully so. And it is really transforming how how should I say this? How repairs are done. Because now you can have a guided, Microsoft, I want to plug Microsoft. You can have a guided AI engine help give you a step by step on how something is done in theory, right? So there's a lot of different systems out there.
And you probably have a lot of partners that you work with in your ecosystem to deliver your solution, right?
Right. I mean, there's software companies all over the place. right, that are feeding AI data modules. Um, what the beautiful thing about our solution is we can connect and integrate into those companies that have invested millions and millions and millions of dollars into AI models. Now they need the right tools to help feed that data model in areas that you wouldn't traditionally, you know, you wouldn't traditionally gather information from. So historically, those data models have been sent by like, phones that are integrated into tablets or smartphones or computers, that sort of deal, which is great. But when it comes to being in the nitty gritty and being in a, repair shop or being out in the field, like you said, repairing a wind turbine, how are they going to get all that information from these remote, hard to reach areas? With your traditional tablet or tool, you're going to need the right tool that can plug into those AI
Mhm.
systems and help feed them more information, and then make them not only make them smarter, but then also make that at the end of the day make that repair easier for the person on the front line doing the work.
Yeah. Do you have to do a lot of training to drive adoption of your different tools? Because I know some of the industries that we're focused on here, there could be highly regulated kind of traditional industries that you're trying to, drive change. How do you approach training and sort of onboarding to ensure usage of the different hardware tools that then capture the data that you then need?
Right. Training can be a challenge with any training can be a challenge anytime you're changing, right, a traditional workflow that somebody is doing. It doesn't have to be in our field. It could be really in any field. So that's why, what we've done is we've enhanced traditional technology. We're not changing the way that somebody actually uses a borescope to stick inside of an engine. We're changing the way the borescope transmits the data from the time you take the picture back to wherever the information needs to be. So we're starting small in the sense that we're elevating an existing workflow, but then there's still going to be the challenge of, okay, how do I get someone to, take that next step? And that's why I can't stress enough that you want to start by elevating something before totally changing the way something's done.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That some of actually the tools are like traditional tools, but they're capturing data. So for the actual inspection resource using it, there may not be too much of a learning curve there. It's more of that tool then is enabling these other workflows behind the scenes to take place and to be able to leverage all of that data back to the, like you said, the OEMs, the manufacturers, documentation, those sorts of things. So. That's really fascinating. Are there any kind of new trends or things of interest that Inspectron is looking at right now that you could share with us?
Sure. I mean, so right now, on our platform, we have two pieces of hardware. We have, like I kind of held up, we call it the Y scope. It's a Wi-Fi enabled borescope that allows for all this data transmission to be faster. And then we also have a handheld mobile camera that is not only in the form factor, but it also acts as a flashlight and a laser pointer and a slew of other features. So those are the two pieces of hardware we have now. We're always looking at elevating that feature set, whether it's coming out with a new camera that can access even smaller areas or can move around. Maybe it can do some sort of measurement capabilities. So we're always looking to improve the hardware, but then we also have our software element. So we have our Y Collab app that these tools work with. But that application, right? We're always adding new features, whether the ability to scan barcodes and then you can stamp the barcodes directly to the images. So you can have asset tagging feature and help with your repository of information. And like we said, we're looking at building AI into our system as well as some other things. So there's always going to be new tools that are coming, and we're always going to add on to that software piece.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. There's so many different applications of it in across different industries, right? So it seems like there's always imagine you have a very busy product roadmap and there's always problems to solve for different customers. If
Yeah.
you're We have mutual customers, right? Because we're selling to, we work on Toughbooks, which are highly ruggedized laptops that are being used in some of the situations that you describe, and field inspectors are using and technicians are using your products kind of combined with us. What is when you're talking to customers, um, what's that advice that you give them on how to start their sort of digital journey? Because you are selling something that can be relatively advanced and used in different ways. Is there a sort of a strategy that you use in your consultation with customers to coach them on in their digital transformation?
Sure, sure. There's two starting points. Number one, I mean, the fact that we're compatible with all tough books is super beneficial because a lot of times these customers are already using the cameras built into the tough book, but in the ergonomics of it all and where that camera can reach, it's sometimes not enough, and that's where they need this type of inspection tool to help complement the tough book. So that's number one. It's just the simple hardware of things. But helping them get started on this digital journey, like I said, it's starting small. It's, hey, there's something core to me here. Maybe it's a checklist that you currently do with pen and paper, and then whenever that is done, you need to, add a photo to it. And right now, you're, doing something as simple as having your checklist, printing off the photo, and scanning to the checklist. Whereas now, you could have a repair order software that's running on your tough book the entire time. You capture your photo with our tool, and you drag it and drop it onto the checklist. So again,
Mhm.
a simple conversion. That's what I recommend. Starting small in core areas of your business.
Very good. All right. Well, really appreciate your time today. It's really fascinating learning about your industry, visual data, and AI, and how it's really transforming how workflows work and the amount of data that we capture, and how that data can be used by technicians and field service engineers to help solve problems. So, really appreciate your time today, Walter. Thanks so much for joining TechConnect.
Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe. My name is David Sholkovitz, and thanks for watching this episode of TechConnect.